Last year, only one team in the Big 12 managed to pull a win off against us in the regular season. We now have a chance at revenge in a top 25 matchup versus West Virginia. That's the tightest game we've had since playing against Ohio State. And while the Mountaineers maybe stumbled in week 0 in the backyard brawl against 22 Pitt, they have not lost since. And that includes a 48-0 rout of the Bobcats, a 42-21 trouncing of the Cougars, a pure gimme against the FCS East Judicials, the corralling of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, a pure stomping of the Cougars, and last week, a smooth-sailing game over the Utes. And while Coy Fagan may not be the highest-rated quarterback we've faced, he's arguably been the best. Over 2,000 passing, 22 touchdowns to not a single turnover. And the running game is pure smooth, with Ebron at 4 yards a carry, Davis nearly at 6. And to top it off, arguably the best receiver in college football in Gideon Baldonado. Stepping into week 8, he will surpass 1,000 yards. He has 10 touchdowns. He averages $142 through the air per game. And the Mountaineer defense gives up the least amount of points per game at just under 16. And if all that wasn't enough for Coach Ty, we're also hoping for big recruiting news. Demetrius Willingham should be deciding between Wisconsin and ourselves. And the same for Jeremiah Trueblood as we try to secure his commitment over Baylor. We also look for the commitment of Darrell Morris and Brendan Chubb. This is much more than just a top 25 matchup. This could very well be an early preview of the Big 12 Championship. West Virginia, Kent State, two of the top 4 teams in the Big 12, all undefeated in conference play. One of these teams will fall today. For the home squad, they look to upset number 4, the Golden Flashes. Well, for Coach Ty and his Kent State crew, they look for revenge. As we are underway here in Morgantown, Scales will take the touchback. We'll begin at the 25, sending out an offense that at least as we begin will be healthy. Yazzie on the field. This offense has missed his impact over the last couple games in the second half as the game has gone along. Coach is hoping that he can stay out there the whole time. He gets play 1 here on the triple option pitch. In total, he picks up 3. We'll see how this West Virginia defense matches up against the triple option here of Kent State. Kelsey tries to keep it. Raphael Spillman is there for the stop, and the bells toll here in Morgantown. A 3rd and 7. Kelsey tries that hard count. No one jumps. He's got an open tight end, though. That's going to be Smith turning up and takes the contact, pushed out of the opposite 48-yard line. That is a massive play early on here for the Golden Flashes. Last year, this game went into overtime. Neither side wants to see it, so we got to make sure we see some points on that board. Passes over the middle and caught. Harry Hassman first down. He had himself quite a performance in their last game against Kansas. Over 100 yards. Katula in motion here. Flip it to the outside. Good block downfield. Hassman, it's a one-on-one to the pylon, and a good tackle by the safety. Looked like Katula tried to pull up and go over the top. Not panning out that time. Pushed out at the 3. Motion here and pressure. Darrell Moon on the blitz. And that pass is incomplete, forcing 2nd and goal here. Triple option, that pitch is out. Yazzie fighting down inside the 1. That forces 3rd and goal. Once again, the bells toll here. 3 hands down in the backfield. It's Cleveland. He's got the touchdown. It's an opening drive score for the Kent State Golden Flashes. Here on the road in a top 25 matchup, a perfect start to the game. It's also a perfect starting point for Coach Ty's defense. A chance to start with the lead. They've played red hot in the first half of these games. The pass rush has been huge. How will Fagan and this offense manage it? Well, they start with their own option. Fagan keeps, and he will find 4. Not many teams run that option against Kent State, probably because the defense should be used to it with how they match up in practice against their offense. Blackwell with pressure, though. That passes out and beats the corner. Earls right up the seam. Just beautiful touch. Finds Vi Nagy. 2+ territory. Keeping with the spread look, they go to the run, breaking the tackle but not getting away. Larry Long with the TFL. Is a loss of 2 on the play. Good answer there from the defense. Low motion left-hand side. Handing this one off. Getting by the linebacker, cutting back inside. A juke. One to beat, but Jackson with a great open field tackle. If he doesn't wrap him up, Ebron could have been gone on that play. He was the man that scored that final touchdown against Kent State last year. The blitz all out pays off as Titus Wiley picks up the 11-yard sack, pushing the Mountaineers back to the 40. We've seen some terrific answers here from the Kent State defense. They just got to tie that all together, get themselves off the field. Looks like a draw here, and getting by Wiley that time. Ebron didn't even flip the hips. And he does pick up a good gash, getting them back to the 31 now. Still going to be a 3rd and long. Trip set left side, 2 to the right. It's going to be a spread out look. Fagan looks to bounce outside, throws late, and tipped away. Looked like he was trying to find Baldonado on that one, instead settling for the field goal. The 38 as well, their kick. This is about a 48-yarder into the hands of the All-State logo. That'll be 3 here for the Mountaineers, their first offensive drive. But still trailing by 4. A prime chance here for the Kent State offense to take a 2-score lead. Getting that pitch outside, that's to Yazzie. Great blocks downfield, a double team on the corner. That has Yazzie set downfield and ushered out about the 40. You could hear a little bit of some boos chime in after that. I think that's some of the Kent State faithful making the trip, because that hit was not necessary. But flipping the field. They're now handing this one off to Cleveland. Unfortunately for him, there's nowhere to go. 2nd and 10. As they come out with a tight look. Looking to pass that ball. It's over the middle and caught Katula. The first down for him as he wrangles in that high pass from Mason Kelsey. The 26-yard line. Back to Yazzie as he avoids one but cannot escape. We're seeing really good flow here from the Mountaineer defense. That's how they've kept points off the board. RPO, follow the blocks. Yazzie is free. Up the field, he spins. He bounces out, and we've got a 2-score lead. Jimmy Yazzie, well, he looks good out there. Whatever's kept him out of the last couple games seems to be just fine. He breaks out the worm. A mighty fine way of closing out the first quarter. It's a 14-3 lead here in Morgantown. Taking on the Mountaineers. This is a top 25 battle that has seen big plays made on both sides. Now the Mountaineers have to answer the early 11-point deficit. The crowd, though, is cheering them on as we look to get the second quarter underway. It's West Virginia ball at the 23. Now they've got motion. That's going to be the running back out of the backfield. Setting up a throw up the seam and just by Christic. Actually, no, check that. It was Jones in coverage. And hooking up with Baldonado, he goes over 1,000 on the season. And for Fagan, he goes over 6K passing in his West Virginia career. And gets them up to about the 41-yard line. They look to go back to the pass, though the big fellow will hit home. You cannot leave one-on-one with him. He is just too much of a man to try to handle. 6'6", over 340 pounds, and he pushes back the guard into the lap of Coy Fagan, taking him down. He also shows off some athleticism, too. I think the guy spun him. Back to the 33. It's 2nd and 18. Fagan looks to answer with an empty set. Throws to Baldonado, but Christic is there. That's going to be a key matchup to watch. Going to primarily be on the left side of your screen. Christic has been the #1 corner for us this year, but a diving grab. I believe that is Thomas converting right up the seam. I think that was a man-on-man matchup with one of the linebackers. That is a huge give up there. They go to the run, and Ebron will maybe get one. Now, we've seen Coach Ty primarily line up in a lot of cover two shells, a lot of man. We'll see if Fagan can pick that apart. We've seen him do that on a couple key third downs. Facing the blitz here, the tight end is left alone. And he'll pick up another first down for the Mountaineers. Back-to-back drives, they've driven down inside the 35. Last time they settled for a field goal after the defense showed up with some TFL, some sacks. But Ebron now through the air has them inside the red zone. As Fagan goes over 100 passing. Two spread to follow with motion left-hand side. That's going to be Baldonado. Bringing the blitz here and almost a second for the big man in Bobby Ellington. Instead, the pass falls incomplete for 2nd and 10. A little bit of some option play here. Big tackle Tim Snead. If he's not there for that, it's a first down and more. Instead, you got a 3rd and 6 here. Bunch left, though, broken up as the tight end motions out right-hand side. Fagan will look to go to the air, or he'll look to scramble. No, throws late. It's going to get picked off. Christic with his 3rd on the season breaks the tackle. That is Kent State ball at the 15-yard line. The interceptions was the reason Coach Ty recruited this man in the transfer portal. He had 4 with the Ragin' Cajuns last season. Already 3 here with Kent State. Got to give some props there to the pass rush as well. It forced that rushed throw. We take over. Up by 11 here. Get that pitch back to Yazzie. Cutting inside and grinding out 6. And we are seeing this West Virginia defense flying around. Coach Ty might need to call some plays that negate them flying around. Keep them honest. That might help us with some yak. As Yazzie takes the screen here, first down. Wouldn't be surprised if Coach starts calling a little bit more RPO action. With that pitch barely getting outside, Yazzie again tries that spin. It's not his best move. In fact, Spillman takes him down rather easily. No gain there on first. It's 2nd and 10. Cleveland will motion out and throwing out his way. Get the big man with some space. He's got about 9. They've been getting him involved a whole lot more. As Kelsey direct snap to him, he takes it up the middle and grinds it. In fact, I'm not sure Kelsey was even prepared for that snap. It just got to him, and at least he ended up making the play for his squad. Look to go with some play action. Checking high. That's a miss for Mason Kelsey. He had at least a sure 3 to 4 yards there, perhaps even a little bit more. So 2nd and 10. Catula in motion. They will flip it out that way. Does not get the block, but hey, Catula breaks it to the outside. He's by the 30, the 22 in pursuit. West will not catch him. Catula takes the flat throw to the house. Kent State opening up a 21-3 lead here inside 2 minutes to play in the first half. This team, they came in hungry. It was not a good pass there from Mason Kelsey. Came out a little bit wobbly as he pulled it late. Didn't get the block, but the speed of Catula, the block of Harry Hassman, that was enough. And there could even be a little bit of some extra anger from the Kent State side, as there was actually a recruit they tried to bring in last week for a commitment. He instead committed to West Virginia. Quarterback Fagan keeps here for 2. So there's just layers upon layers here of why Kent State really wants to pick up a massive win here. As Fagan again he loses one. I believe that was Butts and perhaps even Earls on the tackle. West Virginia calls their timeout for a 3rd and 9. They go play action. Under pressure. Fagan throws. Well lofted. And that is just a massive miss, as they had their running back wide open with a bunch of space up the sideline, but instead about a minute to work with here for Mason Kelsey, who looks to step up here but cannot shake the rush. That'll be the first sack here for West Virginia today, with about 50 seconds to work with here. They're playing a little bit off, no help though, over the middle. That's where they throw. Corner drops, but speaking of dropping it into Armin Hayes. Mason Kelsey, what a grab from the young receiver. He's gotten a chance this year. And while the catches in contested area has not typically gone his way, that one is massive. 1st and 10, timeout spent here for Kent State. They're looking for the end zone. Hassman right side, he got him for another first down as he scoots out at the 13. That leaves him still 2 timeouts in that back pocket, 38 seconds to work with. And this will go to Kelsey, looking to get outside here, and just a great flow from that Mountaineer defense. There was no chance for him to get outside. It looked like he tried to cut back, but then the back flow was prepared. Now they don't use a timeout here. Instead, they get back to the line for some play action. Roll, throw. That's going to be to Smith. He'll maybe have one on the play. Timeout number 2 called here for Kent State. For them, they'll have to get down to about the 2-yard line for a fresh set of downs here, or look for the end zone. Kelsey throws under pressure, snagging that one, but short. The referees mark it 4th and inches. Quick timeout is called. Now you already are up 21-3 here, so we will not see the Golden Flash kicking team that has been very much questionable. Instead, you get Harry Hassman with a 4th first half touchdown, a 28-3 lead. I don't think anyone expected this. Coming into this game, Kent State has clearly been the more hungry team. They tack on some late points, and they send us to halftime with a big ol' lead. 25 points favoring the number 4 team here in Kent State, and I'm sure there were some people wondering why Kent State was even ranked this high, because they haven't had that dominant game. Well, Jimmy Yazzie, while he's only had 7 attempts, he's got about 80 yards on the day. He is a crucial part of the success of this offense. He's finally back healthy, and we have seen everyone take full advantage of that. He's drawing down the corner safeties. Katula on that RPO, he's able to get down the sideline due to great blocking, but also drawing in a majority of that defense. All in all, offense is running smoothly. No mental errors. Defense has shown up big. A couple lapses in coverage. But 3 plays out of 35, you take that every time. As we look to get to the second half here, good news for Morgantown. It is going to be Mountaineer ball. As they start back at the 16, they need some touchdown drives, and they need them quickly. But it's going to be a quick TFL Tim Snead. He is this team's captain, and they play as he plays. And he's played very well this year. Blackwell as well. Favorable spot, though, for the Mountaineers. They say he gets back to the line. I'm not sure about that. But 3rd and 11. Trips look right-hand side with motion, make that a bunch. Baldonado over to the left-hand side. Now Fagan has time. He chucks it downfield. This is one-on-one. And almost caught, though, broken up as Zyman comes over, but a flag comes down. But I think this is going to be pass interference. There was a little bit of a bump there before the ball got there, but not much at all. Mountaineers bailed out with a first down. Now this is college, so it is not a spot foul. It's just the 15. A fresh set of downs, though, as they go to Ebron, and he's not going to find much. And that is a massive blow to the Kent State team. I'm sure their morale was high. It definitely takes a hit there. Play action, and wide open is the tight end. Rumbling after a big hit, though. Zyman flattens him. For Carruthers, that's his 2nd catch. He averages about 3 a game, so we might see that change a little bit, trying to attack this defense in a different way with a primary man. Motion here, handing it off. No, play action, pressure builds, but a great throw. That finds 84 down the sideline to the 25. That's a sophomore tight end in Chance Doyle. And we're seeing them go a little bit more to the tight ends, a little bit more seam work to trying to beat this defense. Good chip there on Blackwell, now going out on the route. Ebron, he's going to pick up 4. Great design there for the Mountaineers. Blackwell has wrecked quarterbacks' games this year. They chip him to help buy a little bit more time. Now hand this one off, and Jackson, what a tackle. King Davis chopped down on his first run of the game. Leaves a 3rd and 3. Bunch left with Carruthers in motion over to the right-hand side. Kent State brings that blitz. Throws too tall. That is a miss from Coy Fagan. The Mountaineer offense is going nowhere. 4th and 3. They stay out on the field. Look for some play action. Buying time. Middle's vacated. Fagan will scramble them down to the 7. Sliding down safely for a goal-to-go situation. It's empty set. Fagan throws a beautiful ball to Baldonado. Their number 1 target, and I'm sure a potential award winner come the end of this year with how he has played. Mountaineers find their first touchdown as that pass came in with beautiful touch over Snead. No chance for him to get a hand on that one. And that caps off a beautiful opening second half drive for the Mountaineers, but they took a lot of time off the clock. I'm not sure that's something they can really afford, as Cleveland goes right down center field, spinning forward almost 20. I think might be adding a couple yards onto that, probably closer to around 16 or so, but that's a gash. The 1st and 10 here. Now it's Yazzie. He tried to do the same. Unfortunately for him, the DT got a hand on him and spun him down. Gain of 3. Tight coverage on the outside. Safety help over the top. It's play action. Rolling. Chucking this one downfield for Katula. And he's got it. Touchdown. That's one of the best throws from Mason Kelsey this year. On the run. He found his receiver on the run. Almost 50 yards downfield. He might have to even tack on more of that. Let's see where he threw that. That was around the 40, maybe even 35-yard line. Caught down around the 5. What a showing from Mason Kelsey and Katula. And after a long drive to open up for the Mountaineers, grinding, taking their time and finding points, in less than a minute and a half, it's essentially erased. Ebron here, spinning off the tackle. He gets free. Might have even been ripped down by the face mask. Good news for Kent State. This time there is no flag. 1st down for the Mountaineers at the 34-yard line. Quick pressure, that passes out. And there goes Baldonado. 2 bad steps from 2 different DBs. And now you got to be careful. You do not want to see Baldonado heating up. Averaging $142 a game. He's been held to only 3 catches so far in this one. The 1 is a touchdown. Passes out to the flat. That's Ebron wrapped up with some help of Earls coming down. But Tim Snead showing the NFL why he's such a good sideline-to-sideline player. He stuck with Ebron the whole way. The 33, they do finally snap that ball. Passes over the middle. Baldonado couldn't get away. Lyle wrapped him up. He tried to spin free, but he trips. Gain of 5 is what they'll have to settle with, bringing up a 3rd and 5. Going to hand this one off. Tim Snead was there. Gonna need some help, but they do bring him down. Maybe about a gain of 1 on the play. Cook back out here for a field goal attempt. And he will hit another. Just 13 points so far for West Virginia, who's been hitting consistently around 40 points a game. And for Coach Ty, that's some good news as he is trying to get those commits landed here on the defensive side after this game. But it's offensive ball. Handing this one off, it's to Yazzie. He's going to get back to the line and ultimately takes us to the 4th quarter here in Morgantown. It is not looking good for the Mountaineers. Kent State, they came into this game hungry. They felt like they had to prove something. And through 3 quarters, they have proven a whole lot. But it comes down to the 4th quarter here. They've got to close out this game. But give it to the crowd of the Mountaineers, egging on their team, hoping they can get some stops. So far, they've got a great opportunity as we kickstart the 4th with a 2nd and 10. Play action here. Tossing this one downfield to Lupke in double coverage. Raphael Spearman nearly catching that one off the tip. Does force a 3rd and 10. Chance to get off the field here, but setting up a screen. Big men in front. There goes Yazzie. 1st down up to the 47. That is killer here for the Mountaineers. A chance to get off the field. They let it go to waste. Motion out here. Looking to keep. Cutting back left side. That's Yazzie as he breaks a pair of tackles. Called that about a gain of 5. So a 2nd and 5 around the midfield line. Bunch spread over to the right-hand side. Handing this one off. That's going to be Cleveland. He's got a big man downfield trying to cut off of him. It's a big run down to the 25-yard line for Cleveland. And he's been enjoying his role here as a transfer senior as that flashback in this offense that has gotten a lot more involved this season. He's going to get the pass out wide, and we'll take it up for about another 4 or 5. They're not having to do anything crazy here, just some simple offense late. Though Kelsey gets stopped in the backfield, and that one didn't look oh so simple. Michael Hasty with the TFL, making this a 3rd and 10. You're inside field goal range, and you draw off the DT. That'll be the free 5 back. You can call that one on Lawrence Kiernan. Now, it is still a 3rd down here for the Mountaineers. They could still get off the field. Motion, that's going to be Martin around. Triple option. Kelsey spins off the tackle, and he's going to find his way to the end zone. Mason Kelsey, a 3rd down dagger into the hearts here of Morgantown as they drop 40 on the Mountaineers. They get 42-13 after this PAT. Coach Ty and the Flashes, they're sending note to the Big 12. Last year's title was no fluke, and the Mountaineers' loss might have just been. We'll see how they could close out this game as there was pressure. Baldonado, though, breaks free from Christic. That grab has him up to 84 yards. He still needs about 60 more to keep his average on pace. A whole lot of snap movement here, and that one's going to be picked off. First on the year against Coy Fagan, and Jones takes it to the end zone. The Mountaineers falling apart in their biggest game since that Pitt rivalry game to open this season. And actually, correction to that, not his first interception, his second interception. Christic had one earlier. For Coach Ty, who just has not had a defense get many turnovers as the pressure arrives. The changes he made to his recruiting strategy in the offseason massively helping out. They have forced almost a turnover a game this year. So everything seems to be panning out for Coach Ty. Though for West Virginia, not so much. A 3rd and 2 here. They do hand it off, but all over it is Blackwell off the snap. And with 3:42 to go, that will be the day done for the starters. The backups come in here to look to close this game out. As Kevon Fair gets north, he's got the first. He's seen quite a lot of playing time. A lot of these backups have this year. This game was not expected to be another. Just so happened to be the case as Fair will take that loss. And sometimes we'd rather him take the loss than risk a risky pitch. Loss of 2 on the play. I form here. They hand that one off. That is Lamb, the walk-on fullback for 6. No, he might just have the record for the most amount of carries for a walk-on fullback, maybe ever. 3rd and 6. Fair, he's got nowhere to go. No chance to pitch that one. Mountaineers close that one out. And we will close this whole thing out from there. A dominant, statement-making win here for Coach Ty. And getting some revenge on that overtime loss from last week. Mason Kelsey over 300 passing, 4 total touchdowns, including a really good run that was the dagger in any attempt at Morgantown, seeing a comeback. A big win for Kent State, but the wins are hopefully not over yet. As this team hits the locker room, showers up, and looks for the plane ride back to Kent. We look for some commits. And the first of the season is Jarrell Morris, the big old DT. Now, he was one expected to commit. We also land Brendan Chubb, the linebacker. But we do not secure the commitment from Jeremiah Trueblood. That was one I expected. He was on a visit with Baylor this week. It would have took something massive for us, even with that big win, to get that commitment. As for Willingham, he does not commit anywhere yet. We are still in a battle with Wisconsin. But week 9 is his visit, and we face Baylor. This could be another thing very similar to this game. One, this could very well help decide who's going to be that top team in the Big 12. As it stands, it is just our Kent State, Baylor, and TCU who remain undefeated. Again, next week, one more falls. But also again, we could get some revenge on a commit going elsewhere. Same as we did today, as Conrad Hammer might be second-guessing his commitment to West Virginia. But the good news is Coach Ty, he expected Jeremiah Trueblood would not be coming to Kent State with how things ended up panning out there towards the last couple weeks. So Ben Hardrick, we've got a little bit more heavy for. We have the earlier visit. It's still a tight race. We have the conference legend. It's a really good pitch for us. An A+, a B+, and an A. We've had the extra 10. It is heavy competition, but we're hoping that we're going to pull that one off. And on top of that, we also have started to keep our eye on some other players. And for Brian Hurley, he is a speed rusher, though he is a 3-star. So now we're definitely going to be scouting full here, looking for some gems, or at least some really good ratings. See if they match what we're looking for here. Now, the speed is there. We've got some pretty good finesse to start. Strength isn't bad. Silver for recoup. He's not going to be a gem, but there is some solid ratings here, something that we can develop. Still looking at the transfer portal for potential starters for next year. I think Hurley is someone we do give that scholarship to, and no one else has yet, so we're not going to go heavy on the points, but we will tack on 15. We also have been prepared for Hammer to commit elsewhere. We're taking a look at some guys. We saw a few of them, and we just have to scout a little bit more here to try to find out if these guys are even worth it. That zone coverage is pretty low for Van Rotten. For Wilkins, slightly higher. The man comes in pretty average. What's the speed? What's the press? It's something you might be able to work with. He's a guy that would have to sit for a couple weeks, but I think he's someone we could look to recruit. We're going to take off Van Rotten. And for Wilkins, no one else going after him. I think we could offer a scholarship there, tack on some points, introduce ourselves to the man. But we did also come prepared with even more edge rushers to take a look at. These guys are not going to be scheme fits, but we're going to see what the ratings look like, and maybe they are semi-close. You have at least the power there. We're looking for some speed and some strength to match. Speed comes in at 75, 88 for the strength. This would be someone more for your power edge, hearkening to what we talked about in yesterday's video. If you guys missed that, a new set of series, we're here on a Thursday. Didn't even mention that so far. But Manu, he has some very interesting ratings here. We'll spin the 10 more points to finish it off. He is a gem. We will be jumping in on this one for sure. I'm going to send the full 50 points there. We're going after the gem because Pitt is already looking at him. And next time, we have Del Griffin, the 4-star quarterback, coming in on a visit. We have Demetrius Wellingham joining him. And rounding out the offense on visits, we have Keelan Kalu, a well-rounded tackle. So make sure you don't miss this Baylor game by hitting that sub button either down below, or you can tap the bear icon right on your screen. And if you tap the bell icon, you'll be notified when all these videos get posted. No matter the change to the schedule, you will be notified. And if you weren't aware of the change of schedule, we are now here on Mondays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Fridays, we are with the Giants and Coach Barrington. And on Wednesdays, as we did yesterday, we're doing a little bit of some geeky football stuff. We're talking about recruiting for schemes, talking about the defensive schemes, the offensive schemes. It's also up to you guys too, and if you want to see some streams, we can definitely float those in on some Wednesdays. Maybe a little bit more of some Road to Glory. Move him on into the NFL as well. When we get to that point, you guys let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, let Coach Ty know by smashing that thumbs up button. A massive win. We got our revenge. We are now the number 3 team in the country. We'll see you next time as we return to small town Kent, Ohio, welcoming in the Baylor Bears in our first ever matchup against them here in the Big 12.